there's a lot of pictogram or all of these signages with photos on them, and those are super wonderful, where you had all of the steps for your hand washing procedures. Here we go again. Hello again, PCQI, and welcome back to our GMP training segment for our food category, section personnel, subsection cleanliness, and subsection washing hands. So these are the requirements on 21 CFR, part 117.10 personnel section. So let's read the requirement. Cleanliness. All persons working in direct contact with food, food contact surfaces, and food packaging materials must conform to hygienic practices while on duty to the extent necessary to protect against allergen cross-contact and against contamination of food. The methods for maintaining cleanliness include washing hands thoroughly and sanitizing if necessary to protect against contamination with undesirable microorganisms, in an adequate hand washing facility before starting work, after each absence from workstation, and at any other time when the hands may have become soiled or contaminated. All right, so keeping that in mind, PCQI. So here are the type of things that you're gonna take a look at when you're putting together your washing hands or hand washing program. So first things first, we all know and read a lot of information to basically, at a minimum, we wash our hands for 20 seconds, and there's a lot of ways to do that. I've seen plants that actually have a timer that's just kind of going around, so you can start where you stepped off, so you could have that drastic measure. Techniques of singing happy birthday to me twice. So there's a lot of ways of doing the 20 seconds rule and all of that process. So in your procedure, if you're putting all of these things together, there's a lot of pictogram or all of these signages with photos on them, and those are super wonderful, where you had all of the steps for your hand washing procedures. So please take a look at those as well when you're doing your QA audit, as a PCQI. The other part I'm looking at for this one is your hand washing station maintenance, as well as your SSOP. Obviously, the hand washing station has to be maintained. Make sure the water is running freely. Your hot water is available during activation, and also cleaning that hand washing station as well. Sometimes they're very neglected. You also have some signage that you might want to affix to the walls, or however you want to put those communication to your team. And some of those are, for hand washing used only. Don't clean your plates. I've seen those, don't clean your plates and utensils here. Right, so it's really for the intended use of washing your hands. Take a look at also or observe how people move. Sometimes they put things on the sink like a squeegee, utensils, spare parts of equipment, and you're looking at it, and this is only for hand washing. And why are all of these things here that could cross-contaminate my process? So now during an audit, I have seen plenty auditors really nitpick on that and actually issue a non-conformance for that process when it comes to the hand washing station maintenance part of it. Also consumables. Okay, so let's kind of jump in during an audit. Make sure everything is replenished. So whatever your chemicals and sanitizers and soaps and disinfectant, whatever you're using, make sure it's part of your pre-ops that they're refilled, especially on the paper towels and all of the other consumables that I just mentioned. Hot water is available within 3 to 5 seconds. I know you have a long line from the hot water heater or the boiler, whatever your system is. So make it part of your pre-ops to run the hand washing station when you first get into work. Get that hot water going, because it really helps out in neutralizing with the soap, the oils, and breaking down the proteins on bacteria, and that's what really is all about. And we've learned that during the pandemic, where these certain pathogenic or viruses, hand washing was so promoted, right? And we learned how to to perform hand hygiene with our eyes closed now. So you don't need to hear from me about that, okay? Now, hand washing procedure. I know some of you already have a hands-free where you just go in and either you hit it with your hip, or you press on a toggle switch on the floor and the water comes on. And some of us that don't have that, and we still have to do the manual on and off, turning it on for the water to come out and turning it back on. So make sure you have SOPs for that. So during an audit, you're gonna be asked, and they're gonna take a look at that. So basically, for that part of it, for that technique, I'll go over it really quick and just adjust your SOP. Right, you're gonna prep your paper towel first, okay, and then go through your hand washing procedures, right, and all your steps. And then don't touch anything, leave the water running. You grab that paper towel, okay, and you dry your hands, okay, and using that paper towel to cover it up, and that's how you're gonna turn off the water, okay. So there's a lot of videos out there, for this technique. So if your facility hasn't invested on the hands-free method, make sure your SOP reflects of how to properly perform that activity, because you will be asked. All right. The next part of this one is hand washing station requirements. How many of these do you need, and how are they placed? Remember, if your hand washing station are placed poorly, your hygiene practices will perform badly. Okay, not poorly, bad. All right. So what's going to happen is you as a PCQI, you're going to have to take a look at that. What is your flow when you're going in? And we've talked about PPEs in different videos, but let's be specific on the hand washing station. So what does it look like before you go to your production zone? Are they outside? And if they are, once you're inside, what is your process when, right? Here, let me read it again. It says, at any other time when the hands may have become soiled or contaminated, right? So that's the last part of washing hands thoroughly section of the requirement. So now you're inside. Your gloves had burst. Now you're going to have to deglove and wash your hands. What does your hand washing station look like inside? Do you have to go back outside and redo that activity, right? Take a look at that. How far are they between zones or areas, of that process and whatnot. So that's really what's gonna determine how many hand washing station you require. So when you're doing your design qualification part of your process, please be mindful of this requirement. All right. Next part of this one, I know it's hand washing that involves water, and we talked about the hot water requirement, right? The next part of it is what is your policy if the water stops running, right? So, I was in the middle of an audit, and that's what happened. There was an electrical failure, and the water pump stopped, okay? So, what do you do? So people are asking me, they were like, Mr. Ryan, what do we do when we can't even flush the toilet? We can't do all of these things. So as a PCQI, these are the type of scenarios that you gotta entertain. So you're not, shocked by that. Number one, do you have contingencies when that happen? Does your policy to meet the requirements involves, alternative method for for your hand washing requirements. What are those? And do you have enough resources to support it? Or do you basically shut down? So what does the shutdown process look like? You see what I mean? So if there's no water running and you got food running through your plant, what do you do now? Okay, so these are the type of things you need to put, some thoughts and some process, thinking methodology behind it, and then, propose that to management so you don't get those pushback on your team, and basically says, okay, what do we do in the event the water doesn't run out, right? So nobody panics, right? And you know what to perform on that aspects of it. So anyways, PCQI, let me end my segment on this part, and these are some of the notes as a PCQI that I look for when it comes to complying with the section of washing hands thoroughly requirement by the Code of Federal Regulation on CGMP, HARPC for human food. Till then, PCQI, have a great day, stay strong, and see you next time. Bye for now. Contact us, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks again, PCQIs. Have a good one.